So we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Aloni, and I'm with Schneps Media. Schneps Media is the largest local media company in the New York metro area. We publish over 70 newspapers, magazines, websites, webinars, podcasts, and events. And we do so throughout Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Manhattan, Westchester, Long Island, and Philadelphia. Today, I am very happy to bring you the webinar, Learn About Starting a Student-Centered College Experience. And I'm thrilled to be able to bring you the team from St. Francis, who is going to share with you about providing a learning environment where everyone belongs, so that everyone in the St. Francis community has the opportunity to dream, serve, and achieve. I'm excited to introduce you to our panelists today and have them share with you about themselves and their role at St. Francis. First, I want to welcome Rob Olivia. He is the Assistant Vice President for Enrollment Management. Welcome, Rob. Can you share about yourself and your role at St. Francis?
Elizabeth, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Rob, your volume is a little low.
How about now? Do I sound better?
That is better. That is better. Thank you.
Yeah, and no one has ever accused me of being soft-spoken. So I'll speak even louder right now so people from throughout New York City and beyond hear us. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Thank you so much for hosting today's webinar and for welcoming our colleagues from St. Francis College here to join you. The work that you do at Schneps is incredible. The ability for you to communicate with people throughout our great city is quite impressive. So thank you for the invitation. And thank you for having us here today. I've been part of the St. Francis College community going on over 20 years. I first stepped foot at St. Francis College in October of 1999 and fell in love with it. Fast forward, several years later, I started working at the college in November of 2009 and have been here for the last 11 plus years. Working first in community affairs, government affairs, and special events, and for the last 4 years working in enrollment management. And I am blessed to work with an incredible team, both in admissions and financial aid, who work across departments and units on campus with all key stakeholders to provide that environment where everyone belongs. So we're really happy to be with you here today, and we're looking forward to an incredible panel discussion.
Thanks so much, Rob. And I could tell from the minute I met you, the passion you have for St. Francis College is just wonderful. So we're lucky to have you here to share about it. Next, I'm looking forward now to introducing Tricia Hughes. She is the Associate Director of Admissions. Welcome, Tricia. Please tell us about yourself.
Hi, everyone. Yes, thank you. I am Tricia Hughes, and I serve as the Associate Director of Admissions here at St. Francis College. I oversee our amazing team of admissions counselors in tandem with Rob. I oversee all things operation while also managing all of our recruitment events. And believe me, there are a lot of recruitment events. You will hear more about that later. I also have the privilege of working hand in hand with each of my colleagues on the call to ensure that all of our new students have a seamless and fun transition to St. Francis College. In a little bit, you'll learn that many of my colleagues on the call are graduates of SFC. I'm sort of the outlier. I actually was not, but I will say that I did attend another Franciscan institution. And ever since I walked through the doors of 180 Remsen Street, SFC has felt like home to me. It's a caring community that fosters a feeling of connection and belonging. And I've felt that whether in person or as we've been remote. So I'm so happy to be here today to share more about what SFC can offer.
Fantastic. Tricia is a true dynamo. So happy to have you here. Next, I want to introduce Maria Blandino, who she is the Director of Financial Aid, a very important piece to college experience. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you. Very important. I myself, like Rob, have been at St. Francis for 23 years. I started off as a student in 1998. one year before Rob. And then in 2003, I started working at the college in the Office of Student Activities, and then moved over to the Office of Financial Aid. There I've been for 18 years in all different aspects of financial aid, whether it's from filing a FAFSA, straight up to taking loans, accepting financial aid. We work hand in hand with the admissions office and with Monica's department in helping students succeed and coming over the financial barriers that most students face while attending college and deciding where to go. We have an open door policy. We love our students, and anything that we can do in the financial aid office to help them focus on their studies is what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. I mean, what a true testament to St. Francis College, from starting as a student to all these years later with your commitment to the school. That's really something important. Next, I'm excited to welcome Monica Michalski, who is the Associate Dean for Student Success. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today. There's nothing more amazing that I love to do is to talk about our students and how we support them. I also share a similar story to Maria and to Rob, as I too am a proud St. Francis College graduate, starting my career at SFC in 1996. And I just was passionate about the college when I was a student. And I was so passionate to come back to work at the college, and my team oversees academic support, student leadership development, really meeting students where they are and helping guide them through the journey. There will always be bumps in the road in any journey, and we're here to support them along the way. And everything that we do in our policies, our procedures, our practices are all student-centered. We really listen to our students and make sure that they're at the core of everything that we do. And that's our mission. And that's why I love St. Francis, and I can't wait to share more with you today. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you so much, Monica. Another alumni. Fantastic. Finally, I'm pleased to announce his attendance here, but to introduce Stanley Bazile, who is the Chief Student Affairs Officer and Dean of Students. Welcome, Stanley. Please share a little bit about yourself and your role at St. Francis College.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're really excited to be here. I've been at the college, I believe it's been 3 months. Feels like I've been here for 3 years, but not in a bad way, but I just feel like I don't even remember life before being at St. Francis. It's been such a welcoming environment. Love the students. Looking forward to actually going to to a soccer game in a little bit. So I'm a little bit dressed down so I can run over there and then run back to my office. But St. Francis is an amazing place. Students come first. We cultivate an environment where individuals feel like they matter. As an individual who grew up in Brooklyn, it's so exciting and so refreshing to be back here. It's been a difficult time the last year with COVID, but St. Francis has answered the call to make sure that students are successful, that we put them in a position to continue to be strong terriers and contribute to society long after their time at St. Francis this year. So excited to be here to talk about student success.
Fantastic. Thank you, Stanley. So Rob, I want to come back to you. Can you share with us what makes St. Francis so special? I can hear in all of your voices and what you say that obviously it is to all of you. And what do you mean by student-centered?
Elizabeth, I can say it's the water in Brooklyn. I can say that it is because we are in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's hot, it's hip, it's happening. It's the center of the universe. But at St. Francis College, we're able to offer such a student-centered approach to what we do, because they are at the core of every single thing that we do. Every single decision that we make, students are at the core. Every move we make, students are at the core. As we drive our college forward, students are at the core, and they inspire us each and every day. Earlier today, you kicked off this session simply by sharing the why of St. Francis College. We provide a learning environment where everyone belongs. That is a student-centered feeling of belonging, so everyone has the opportunity to dream, serve, and achieve. Our student-centered approach focuses on dreaming. Our student-centered approach focuses on serving. Our student-centered approach focuses on achieving. and Elizabeth, and to our audience and those who are attending, I would love to share with you some factors that allow us to serve the students in the way in which we do. And that first factor is really our personalized approach to everything that we do. Now I'm dating myself. In the 80s and early 90s, there was a show on Channel 4. It was iconic, and it was called Cheers. At Cheers, they were the place where everyone knows your name. And at St. Francis College, we are the college where everyone knows your name. And instead of sitting around a local pub, all right, you are going through our campus in the beautiful neighborhood of Brooklyn Heights, downtown Brooklyn, and you're visiting with the Dr. Baziles of the world, the Dean Michalskis of the world, the Maria Blandinos of the world, and the Tricia Hugheses of the world. Our students know members of our community. Members of our community know our students. 16-to-1 faculty-student ratio. Student to faculty ratio. We really are the college where everyone knows your name. During the admissions process, our students have one admissions counselor that guides students throughout the very daunting admissions and financial aid process. Take it a step further. When they enroll, there's one academic advisor who is an expert in that program of interest and area of study that works with those students during their entire time at St. Francis College. It does not get more personal than that. The personalization continues when our students enroll because they have an opportunity to work with our transformative faculty. When I was a student, Dr. Frank Sorrentino transformed my life. He was a professor of political science who took a deciding major, someone who may have wanted to study comm arts, someone who may have wanted to study business management, someone who may wanted to have studied something different, but he instilled in me a passion and love for politics that continues today. And I have to plug Schneps Media, whose local newspapers cover local politics very, very well. Tip O'Neill once said, all politics is local, and no one does it better than Schneps in covering local politics. So thank you for that. But Dr. Sorrentino transformed my life. He transformed my life in a way that allowed me to develop a passion. I went on to get my master's degree in public affairs from the City University of New York. Take it a step further, our transformative faculty study abroad with our students. Our transformative faculty do research with our students. Our transformative faculty work with students to mentor them, provide internship and job opportunities for them. Transformative faculty literally transform lives, and they transform lives in the center of it all, Brooklyn, New York, USA. One of the best things that I love about St. Francis College is our location. And when I walk outside our campus, you know, I do get some breaks every once in a while if Trisha allows me to leave the building. I walk down Remsen Street and I walk to the Brooklyn Heights Promenade. And I look at that Statue of Liberty, right? Lady Liberty is right there, a stone's throw away. I then look across the harbor and there's that Freedom Tower, 1,776 feet tall, the beautiful Manhattan skyline. I see that that's where our students are working. I see that that's where our students are getting internships. And I look to my right and I see BMW, and not the car, the Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Williamsburg Bridge, because the bridge to the dreams of our students start at St. Francis College, where New York City is our campus and Brooklyn is our backyard. We also offer incredible financial aid offers. You will hear from Maria a little later on. And Maria will talk about just how affordable we make a St. Francis College education. Merit-based, need-based scholarships are at the core of driving an affordable, accessible, and an attainable education at St. Francis College. And I close with this. Over 15,000 alumni are proud to call St. Francis College alma mater because we provide the network of a lifetime. That network of a lifetime, the core principle of that network is our Franciscan values. Students who leave St. Francis College better people than they were when they started, celebrating harmony in diversity, over 250 international students. St. Francis College students come from over 60 different countries around the world. That network of a lifetime starts at point of enrollment and continues forever. Once a terrier, always a terrier. And I know this to be true because, as I said earlier, I experienced the St. Francis College education myself. My life was changed and transformed by members of the college community who mentored me, who guided me, and have put me in a position to have an impact on the lives of students. I know I want to impact the lives of students in a student-centered way because of the people at St. Francis College who influenced me most. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention those individuals who are giants. We stand on their shoulders, and those are the Franciscan Brothers of Brooklyn, who came from County Galway in Ireland over 160 years ago. They knew that Brooklyn was hot, hip, and happening back then. They came to educate working class Brooklynites. We continue to do so, and we do it in the Franciscan way. And today, from our colleagues and from our Q&A session, we will no doubt clearly demonstrate that to you. Thank you.
Wow, wow, what a special place. I mean, and I can tell you, to see so many of the important experts that are here today actually went to the school, I mean, speaks tremendous volume. So thank you so much, Rob. So I wanted to get to the next step in our attendees process, which is the admissions process. So Tricia, can you tell us what our attendees can expect from that process?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, our students and attendees can expect a quick and seamless admissions process. We encourage all of our students to apply either through the common application or on our website, which is sfc.edu/apply. It's a pretty, as I said, quick and seamless application. Once you've submitted that application with no application fee, it's important, it's free. You can submit your unofficial high school transcripts. That is all we need to get you an admissions decision in about 2 weeks' time. We will get you an admissions decision. So that's right. No essay, no letters of recommendation, just that unofficial high school transcript that we will review, and we will get a decision out to you. Acceptance letters are sent via email through our Campus Logic platform. So you always want to be monitoring your email. That's how we communicate with you most. Whatever is on your application, whatever email address you list, that is where we will communicate with you. But in addition to that virtual Campus Logic acceptance letter, you will also receive mailed home a acceptance letter personally hand signed by our AVP Rob Oliva. That's right. Every single acceptance letter gets hand signed by Rob with a personal note. Just going back to how we like to keep things, personal throughout the admissions process. Students will definitely want to review in depth that online acceptance letter, because that is where you will get detail on all the various scholarship offerings. I know Rob mentioned earlier that we try to make SFC as affordable as possible, and that all starts with your acceptance letter. So in your letter, you'll see a merit scholarship award, which is allocated based on your GPA. We also offer a $1,000 faith-based scholarship for students who attend a faith-based institution. A $1,000 out-of-state scholarship, that's essentially for students who are coming from out of state. We also have our Lark and Luminary scholarship. So that's $1,000 for students who have parents or siblings who attended SFC, and $500 for those who are referred to SFC through a current student or an alum. So as I said, that's all going to be detailed in that acceptance letter, and that's how we start driving down that tuition cost. Our affordability measures, though, they don't stop there. Maria later on will go into some of the need-based aid and how federal and state aid, but I want to draw attention for our high achieving students. That's anyone who has an 85 GPA or above. We have an opportunity for you to participate in our scholarship day competition. That's where students write an essay and sit for an interview to compete for one of 4 full tuition presidential scholarships. That's right, one of 4 full tuition presidential scholarships. That's 4 years, full tuition covered. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that opportunity. We also have our Robert J. Mcguire Scholarship funded by Fred and Judy Wilpon, who are previous owners of the New York Mets, which offers up to $9,000 in additional scholarship award, a free summer intercession course, a personal dedicated advisor, and much more. It's an amazing scholarship program. It's our most popular. And that's open to students who have an 85 GPA or above and an AGI below 125,000 are eligible for this program. So that would be verified through your FAFSA application. And I would be remiss if I didn't shout out our very prestigious honors program. That's open to students with a 90 GPA or above. Honor students can take part in our internships, internship programs, conference opportunities, study abroad opportunities, and most importantly, they really get to dive deep into a subject that matters to them through seminar style courses. So these are all really important things that you want to be mindful of as you're going through the admissions process. We will communicate to you often about how you can participate and apply for these really awesome scholarships and programs. Also, you want to be mindful now that you've been accepted to start working on getting that FAFSA in and your scholarship day essay in. But you should also be mindful of the fact that all accepted students will receive their SFC username and password upon completion of their FAFSA application. This is key to all things SFC. Students use their username and password to access everything that we have available to you. And that starts with our financial aid offer letter via the self-service portal, and to make your $200 enrollment deposit via TouchNet, signifying your commitment to the St. Francis College community. And really, just to end it off, the most important piece of advice that I can give as you navigate the admissions process is to stay in touch with us, because there are so many different ways that you can engage with SFC, both virtually and in person in a safe way. So we want to hear from you, we want to see you, and we promise to guide you in a very personal way through each step of the enrollment journey.
Thank you, Tricia. I like how you've made it so simple for people to be able to apply, and that you give that support, because it can be an overwhelming process. All right, so now I'm admitted, I'm excited to go, but my next focus is the financial portion of college. So Maria, can you share with us how financial aid works at St. Francis?
Sure. At St. Francis, the financial aid process is very similar as it is here, as it is at any other school. But for us, once you're admitted to the college, St. Francis will receive your FAFSA form. So everyone would need to apply for their FAFSA as of October 1st. You have to remember, the earlier, the better. The FAFSA is free. And for us at St. Francis, we determine a lot of institutional aid that we can offer you based off that form. So it's important that all students get in early and apply for their aid. Once they're accepted and we receive their FAFSA, all students will receive a financial aid offer letter from the institution. It will be text messaged straight to their cell phone. We try to make it as easy as possible for kids. And they'll be able to right there view all the aid that they're eligible for. Institutional aid, like Tricia stated, merit, need-based, which is based on your FAFSA and your family's AGI, and how many people live in your household. And then we take it to the next step. We start reviewing if you're eligible for the free money from the government, which is the federal Pell Grant, from New York State, if you're a New York State resident, New York State TAP. Everybody is eligible for loans. We move into student loans, then we go to parent loans. We really try to offer loans as a last result. Especially the parent. We try to give you all the aid we can give you first up front, and then we say, well, this is what your out-of-pocket is. Once your out-of-pocket is stated on your offer letter, a family can decide from there how they want to pay it, whether it's through federal loans, which I like to say federal loans have a stigma, a loan. I have to pay for it. I'm stuck with it for 20, 30 years. But the fact of the matter is, a loan is an investment in your future. And sometimes students have to take a loan in order to attend the college they want to. Sometimes St. Francis has to go into the parent loan. Some parents are hesitant on a parent loan, but all of these loans have low interest rates. They're all government owned, and they're all very good loans to have under your name while attending college. Once a student receives their aid offer letter, they move into what we like to call the self-service portal. We do everything online. We try to make everything as streamless and easy as possible for a student to get in there, see their financial aid, see their costs, see their out-of-pocket, and then they're going to decide if they want to accept or deny the money we've offered them. They would go in, they receive their credentials, and they would, from there, accept or deny all of their financial aid. And then the institution receives all of that information. I would just like to be clear that the financial aid FAFSA is free, right? A lot of people don't want to do it because they don't want to put their personal information out there. They think if they put some of their financials, they don't want a college to know what is, know their personal information. But for St. Francis, we offer a very generous need-based program. And the way to ensure getting that grant is by applying for FAFSA. And we're not looking at anything other than 4 key factors: family AGI, if you're a local student, if how many people are in college, and how many are in the household. And then we determine your need base from there. And that helps relieve some of the financial pressure of paying additional aid out of pocket. After that, we like to have an open door policy, or maybe nowadays over the phone policy, right? Due to the pandemic, we are, accessible through email. We'll call you, we will Zoom. We will take the time and meet with everybody, especially if you're a first-time student to a college. What does a federal Pell Grant mean? What does a student loan mean? We really like to take the hands off from the admissions office into the next step of walking them through the financial process, which is just as important as the admissions process. And if I could leave anything, I would like to say, start planning early. The earlier, the better. If you know your financials, what you're getting from colleges, what you're getting from St. Francis, going into having everything done before the school year starts will be best for you, so you can focus on your studies at the college. And we're just there to help move things along for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Knowing that information and knowing that students can turn to you to be able to get this information, and that it's also easy online, certainly puts people's minds at ease. So thank you. So now I want to return to a title that I just love: Associate Dean for Student Success. I love that in the title is student success. I don't know that there's so many schools that offer that as a job title to be able to look out for their students. So I just think that's amazing. So I wanted to move on to Monica and talk about the Student Success Department and how it supports students and prepares them for success in school and beyond.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to speak about this. Our team is just an incredibly talented team of humans who care deeply about students and want to make sure that we are always mapping out their journey, seeing what are potential obstacles, seeing what opportunities lie, and where we can connect them to resources. That's really critical for us, is connecting our students to all the resources that are available to them. We work very closely with our Center for Student Success, which is our advising unit that Rob mentioned, where every student has an advisor for their entire career at SFC, making sure that they're completing their credits on time and that they're availing themselves of the great professional and mentorship opportunities. Our academic support unit is really the pillars of academic support and leadership are really 4 key areas that I want to talk about along that student journey. The first is academic support. We have tutoring, both for content and writing skill development. We also have a wonderful team of success coaches that specify in study strategies. From high school to college or coming from another college, we could always refine those study strategies, time management skills. So we have a devoted team to help students skill up in those areas. We have an accessibility and accommodations office to make sure we're leveling that playing field and creating an inclusive environment for our students where they can succeed. There are support groups that we work very closely with Dr. Bazile's team and Student Life to create that culture of support. We have skill building workshops that start in the summer with summer bridge programs, time management sessions. We've had to increase our technology tool sessions for students, especially navigating this environment with remote learning. We provided students with additional resources in that space because we knew that there were challenges with COVID, that we wanted to make sure students were well supported. We have an amazing early intervention team, which is a coordinated care unit across our division. So it's not only academic affairs, but it's student affairs, counseling and wellness and academic support. We're meeting constantly to talk about what else can we do? What else is happening with our students? What are we hearing? Let's do a quick poll and ask students, how's everything going? You know, we want to always make sure that we're listening and that we're creating that early intervention, you know, for students immediately, so no one's slipping through the cracks. And we do that through a coordinated efforts of referrals to students, notes that we take within our system to make sure that immediately a student is in need, we can connect them to the resource. So academic support is a key pillar. Another key pillar is our Peer Leadership Academy. We really want to develop students as leaders. So our Peer Leadership Academy is really the creation of a brave space for our students to do that dreaming, to figure out how they can serve. And they do that by mentoring other students. They've created amazing projects. Like just this morning, I was in a presentation where our student was talking about her assessment of the Peer Leadership Academy and where we can grow and build. And they were creating amazing projects to make sure that any gaps in our support services are well covered, and we create that you know, feedback loop with our students. They are peer leaders in orientation. They're peer leaders in the first year experience course. And they're peer leaders for specific student groups to always make sure everyone feels supported. That culture of belonging, we actually know how to make it happen through that listening with students and positioning them as mentors. They've created spotlight newsletters. Their Instagram is amazing. You know, sfc.humans of AEC, they are doing amazing things with supporting our students. Professional skill development is the third area. We have a Driven by Dreams curriculum program where we want to make sure that students are positioning themselves appropriately when they are going off to internship experiences, then working with the Career Center on their resume. And so there are these workshop series that we develop content based on what employers are telling us are skills our students need. So we're making sure that the students are developed in those skills, creating portfolios, reflecting on their leadership style, so that they can really be their best self when they're turning up for that internship opportunity or that, you know, full-time job or part-time job. The other space I want to talk about, our fourth thing, is our opportunity and special programs. We have our C-STEP program, which is a program specifically for students interested in careers that provide licensure in STEM areas, social work, and we want to be able to create conditions where students are connected to those professional development opportunities, conferences, test prep. The C-STEP program supports students in that space and makes sure that they're connected. There's book vouchers and other stipends that they receive in order to be able to maximize their education. We have the Mcguire Scholars Program that Trisha mentioned, which creates a lot of community and friendship building with the students. And that's very critical too, to belonging and supporting students through that experience. And we tie all of these pieces together through a great technology that we use called Navigate. Navigate is a student-centered technology that the college is invested in because we invest in our students. And this technology has an app that's student-facing, that's a special app just for students, and it connects them to all the resources. Students can easily make appointments with any support area very easily through the app. They have the full access to all of the campus resources. They can easily see, what club do I want to message? What specific office should I, inquire about? And we have specific things that we put in the app that will nudge students through key things that they should be doing to make sure they're accountable. Hey, don't forget that this deadline is approaching. Hey, did you know that this event on campus is coming? There's a Terrier Talk or a career spotlight featuring an amazing guest speaker who can help you have that aha moment about your career. And so we nudge them and we provide that little steps for them to do so that they know that they're tapping into everything. So the Navigate technology is absolutely critical, and they get on board with that from the beginning of the enrollment experience. And above all, I'll just leave you with the fact that our programs are never static. We're always growing and evolving because we're always getting that constant feedback from our students to make sure that they're well supported. And that investment is very important for us. Everything has to be student-centered. They're in all of our programs and services with their voice. and they're creating content. And I'm just so proud of them. I can't speak enough about that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That really is such a wow. I mean, the umbrella that you cover from academics to social emotional to career, you know, is such an important piece, and really that great bridge between high school, college, and afterwards, all those things that you talked about. Really fantastic. Thank you so much, Monica. So I'd love to get to Stanley, because I would love for Stanley to talk about things that he focuses on, things that are just as meaningful in the college experience. So Stanley, can you share with us a little bit more about the vibrant campus life?
Absolutely. So I want to say this, and so I definitely want to thank my colleagues for talking about all of the different stages of a student's transition within the college. But as we know, we can have all of these wonderful things, but at the end of the day, you want, if you're a student, and as a person who just had a daughter who graduated from college 2 years ago, and my wife and I have two children who will be going to college at some point. Hopefully they'll be going to St. Francis. If they don't, Rob Oliva will not be my friend, but hopefully they'll be going to St. Francis. You want when a student comes to campus that they feel like they matter, right? So we've been talking about this culture of success, but what I want to do is I want to give you two different examples, right? There are two different kinds of students that can go to college. One student could be a student who goes, and let's say they're fifth generation college student. They don't have to worry about paying for tuition. The world's their oyster. They pretty much think they have it down pat. But they go to the institution and they don't have a connection. They don't feel a sense of belonging. They don't feel like they matter. Research shows you 100% of the time, the student will never reach their full potential. They may graduate, but they'll never reach their full potential. Now, on the flip side, let's take another student who they may be a first generation college student. They may have gotten financial aid. They may have gotten a scholarship. They may be working full time. They may have struggles. But if they feel like they matter, they are going to stay at that institution. They will literally crawl to the finish line. They're not going to go anywhere. And that's the environment that we like to cultivate at St. Francis, where students come and they feel like they matter. They feel the sense of belonging. So we talk about the curricular components of being at St. Francis. You know, we have world-class faculty. You're going to have a robust education, but at the same time, there's this co-curricular component where even outside of the classroom, you're still learning, right? Because we know that when you go into the workforce, people say, we want to make sure that you have these soft skills. But at St. Francis, we actually call them the hard skills because those are the hardest skills to get. The skills where you want to collaborate, the skills where you want to work closely with someone, the skills where you can think outside of the box and do things that are innovative, things that are not practical. Because as we know, what moves the needle is the unpractical things, right? And so at St. Francis, we provide those opportunities. We provide opportunities for students to develop holistically. So we have the counseling center. So if students need to have critical conversations, as we've seen most recently with the pandemic, many of our students have said, I just need someone to talk to. I'm going through a difficult time. We recognize that they're still doing well inside the classroom, but if they're struggling outside of the classroom, they can't fully show up inside the classroom. So we provide those resources. Monica's talked at length about the work that we do from a career standpoint. We prepare students from before they even start at St. Francis to start thinking about their career beyond St. Francis, because we know they're making an investment for gainful employment. So we're always having those conversations about career. So it's at the Career Center, it's at the Success Center, it's in the internships that we provide either on campus or off campus. And then there's the leadership components, because we know, and Rob could talk about this at length, all of us can talk about this at length. Students, when they leave St. Francis, they don't just become employees, they become leaders, right? They make an impact on Brooklyn, they make an impact on New York City, they make an impact on the United States, they make an impact around the world, right? And so when you're at St. Francis, you're going to develop in a way that no other institution is going to do it, quite frankly. I can tell you this, Rob still hasn't forgiven me, but I went to Stony Brook University, proud alumni of Stony Brook University. But my first semester, my biology class had 500 students. Now imagine being in a biology class and you're trying to figure out something and you have to raise your hand and there's 500 students in the classroom. You're not going to experience it at St. Francis. So if you have a question, if you want to be able to, if you want to interact with a professor, you have that opportunity. There's no anxiety there. And so we pride ourselves on being a small institution that has big dreams. So when you leave here, dream big here and dream, and your dreams will manifest into reality.
Wow, that is really inspiring for sure. And you were right about that. I actually went to a college that had 500 people in the class, and you don't even try to raise your hand in those classes. Your teacher's up on the, professor's up on a stage, and there's no real engagement. And that's such a critical piece. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm so excited about St. Francis, hearing from all of you. And as you all can see, the passion is really driven here, and it does make a difference in the connection for sure. So I want to get to some questions from our attendees, but first I wanted Tricia to share about some upcoming events. So let me share my screen because there's some great upcoming events that we want you to know about.
Yes, so I did mention earlier in my presentation that we have a lot of recruitment events that go on, and April has been a busy month for us. So if you are interested in engaging more with St. Francis College, I really want to encourage you to join us for some of our upcoming events. So this week, from today through Saturday, is Immediate Decision Week. That means that if you are a high school senior or you have a child who is a high school senior who has not yet made their decision of where they want to go, and we've convinced you that St. Francis is a viable option, please join us for an immediate decision appointment with one of our admissions counselors. You just sign up online for an appointment. You'd submit your application, get us over that unofficial high school transcript, and you will walk away from that meeting with an on-the-spot admissions decision. We'll also give you a financial aid estimate and review some of the scholarships that will be available to you. We also have our Cracking the Admissions Code event tomorrow. That is our monthly admissions and financial aid night. So you'll get a little bit more of a deeper dive into how we make St. Francis College affordable. So that is tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We also have our C-STEP information session. Monica made mention of C-STEP before. So if you heard that and you're interested in learning more, Thursday, April 15th at 5 o'clock, our C-STEP Dr. Katrina Ars will be there to share more about the program and what you need to know to be eligible to join that program. Also, Rob mentioned it a ton, Brooklyn, hot, hip, and happening. There is no other place in the world you want to live than Brooklyn. And so if you are interested in learning more about our beautiful, brand new state-of-the-art residence halls, join us on Monday, April 19th at 6 o'clock p.m. with our residence life staff to get a deeper look into those residence halls. As somebody who only moved to Brooklyn 2 years ago, I'm telling you, you can't beat the real estate of our res life halls.
True, so true.
Exactly. Admitted Student Day and Academic Exploration Week. We know May 1st is coming, National Decision Day. We are counting down with a weeks-long event starting on Saturday, April 24th at 11 a.m. Admitted Student Day. So if you're on the call and you've been accepted to St. Francis, or if you're about to go get an immediate decision this week and will be an admitted student, you want to join us for our kickoff event Saturday, April 24th at 11 o'clock, followed by Academic Exploration Week, Monday, April 26th to Friday, April 30th. 3 o'clock every day sessions focused on our various academic departments: humanities, social sciences, management sciences, and deciding students. If you want to sign up for these events, all you have to do, www.sfc.edu/meetus. Go there, you will find RSVP links for everything that I've just mentioned. I said it before and I'll say it again. We want to hear from you often. Please join us virtually, in person, engage with us, and continue to learn more. As I said, we've just got a really exciting month ahead of events, and we definitely want to see you there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Those are incredible events. And I actually shared that email right into the chat. So, and we'll also be able to share it. We're going to send out an email tomorrow, and we'll have that in the email as well. We'll also have, as I mentioned, a link where you'll be able to see this again, as well as share it with your community, your friends, family, so that they can learn more about St. Francis College. And let me just jump into some questions. So, Tricia, you had mentioned this, but how long until you get from when you submit your acceptance? You had said that, but if you don't mind repeating how long that is, unless you're going for the immediate acceptance, which I didn't even know that
So
existed.
yeah, I guess it ranges, right? Like it could be on the spot. If you decided to do an immediate decision, we can get you an on the spot. But if you're just going through the admissions process, we really work to get our students' admissions decisions as quick as possible. 2 weeks is a fair gauge from when you submit your application, when we get your transcript in, and when we get your acceptance letter out to you.
That's really a very fast turnaround. And
Yeah.
it's a nice thing because you have a passion, you want to go to St. Francis College. You want to know
Absolutely.
where your life is
No waiting until 3-4 months after you submitted your application to find out. We want to take away that waiting game for all of our applicants.
That's great. And when is the latest to enroll for September?
Absolutely. So we definitely encourage students to apply early. We do have a national decision day coming up on May 1st. It's a date that we encourage students to make their commitment deposit, but we're flexible. We do know that some students may want to have an extension. We know that while we're sort of coming on the other side of the pandemic, it's not over, and there's a lot of other factors that go into making a decision. So we do offer that extension to June 1st. But if you're still sitting there over the summer and you're thinking that you might want to make that change and come to St. Francis College, we are here and we are ready to accept your application. We're on rolling admissions. So while we have suggested deadlines, rolling admissions means that we are open and ready to accept your application.
That's great to know. I mean, obviously it's great to get in as soon as possible so you can start getting excited and get everything ready. But it's nice to know that if that's not an option, that people have a little bit more time. Maria, there's a question about that it's the FAFSA. You said that, when is that due?
So you can apply for the FAFSA as early as October 1st, going into an academic year. So seniors this year should have already applied for this past October 1st. So from that date on, students can apply at any given time. And as long as we are listed as a school, you can list up to 10 schools, but St. Francis should be number 1, right? We will receive their FAFSA, and you will get an offer letter from us within, long as you're accepted, within 3 days of your acceptance to the college. So we're right behind admissions. You get accepted, we send you an 8 offer letter within about 2 or 3 days from that time. So you know upfront immediately your financials.
Terrific. That's so important in planning for sure.
Yeah.
Stanley, I think, were you the one who mentioned about living? I cannot believe you have dorms in Brooklyn. That is spectacular. I mean, I can tell you, I work with a lot of webinars on Brooklyn real estate. People are so passionate about Brooklyn because it's such a unique place to live with so many opportunities. Can you speak to a little bit about the living opportunities and what you need to do to apply and that good stuff? I mean, maybe that's a little bit Trisha, a little bit Stanley, but anybody who has that answer, if you could jump in, that would be great.
Yeah, as Trish said, we have a fantastic residence hall. The location, one would say, is in prime real estate. So anyone familiar with Brooklyn, we are literally across the street from the promenade. So you walk outside, you cross the street, you're on the promenade. You can see, as Rob talked about, you can walk down and see the Statue of Liberty. The view is amazing. It's in a very trendy location in Brooklyn. There's different offerings in the residence hall. So we have singles, doubles, triples, quadruples. We are accepting applications for students who are interested in living in the residence halls for the fall semester. I can put that link in the chat shortly. So in the event that folks are interested in doing that, but some of that is covered in the weekly events that Enrollment Management Admissions has that gives some information. The students will, there are RAs there. So there's a number of different activities that happen in the residence hall. So not only are you living there, it's also a living learning community. So there's different things that are focusing on your overall health. So it's a fantastic facility. And again, if I didn't live in Long Island, that's one place I would love to live. So these students are so incredibly blessed. When I tell people, and it's located in Columbia Heights, and you can see it on the website, on that street. But if you see the facility, it's a brand new building. I want to say it's maybe 2 years old. So it's state of the art, amazing.
Wow, that is incredible. I mean, we don't want to encourage students not to graduate, but it's really incredible to be there. So any student who's going to be there is very lucky to be able to experience life in Brooklyn from a social perspective, but also from a business perspective. It's really the heartbeat of New York right now, certainly. Monica, a question came up. How often does a student meet with an advisor?
Well, we encourage students to meet with their advisor as many times as they need to. That's where we, create that personal bond with students. But students have at least a required 2 minimum per semester meetings with their advisor. The first meeting usually occurs in the first couple of weeks of the semester. It's a check-in, really developing their plan, making sure that their goals are documented, and we can start really positioning them to what are the opportunities that they should take advantage of, where they can meet with particular professors to learn more about their programs, where they should do some more research on particular programs and opportunities, and really aligning those goals to what we offer at the college. And so that happens in the first few weeks, the sort of that check-in. And then there's an academic advising meeting, degree planning session, where we really have them start planning out their 4 or 5 years at St. Francis College. Do they want to take any summer opportunities? Do they want to study abroad? All of those things that really make a rich and rewarding academic experience. Those are when the advisor can help position them during that advising registration session. And then, students come to see their advisor because they got an amazing grade on a class, and they want to share that news. The relationship building is very, very critical. And advisors check in with their students online through text messaging that we do through the Navigate app, as well as through emailing. And, especially now with the virtual space, there's always Zoom sessions going on. So students can really check in with their advisor at any time.
That's fantastic. We had a question about, are a lot of these services, are they included in tuition, or are these extra services? How does that work?
All of the student academic support services, the Leadership Academy, the professional development is all included in the St. Francis College experience, in that holistic experience that we have provided for our students. Our C-STEP program is grant funded. So all of the stipends that we have for students and their, opportunities for test prep and conferencing, that's all funded, for grants. And we are consistently looking for external funding sources to make sure that we can create that infusion of opportunities for our students. So those are all enveloped in their tuition, their cost of attending.
Wow, that's a lot of value there and a lot of support. What about, you mentioned about internships. We had a question about internships. How does that work, and how does a student get involved with that? Is that more towards their senior year? Could someone share a little bit about that?
I can start a little bit, and then Stanley, do you want to, talk about the career services?
Yep.
I can just say that we have really setting our students up for that professional development very early on, as Stanley mentioned, from first year, because what we've noticed is that a lot of, our partners, our corporate partners, are looking for interns as early as sometimes even their first year experience. And so we want to position our students right away. And that's where we have the Driven by Dreams program to help students with those skills and for them to understand their leadership style so that they can be positioned for those opportunities. But we work with the academic support and leadership unit very closely with career services to develop those, pipeline programs for our students. So Stanley, if you want to give a little more detail on the Career Center.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Monica said, we one of the worst things to happen is when a student comes to the Career Center in April of their graduating year and say, hey, I think I need a job, right? So we want to have students start thinking about their career as they start. So at the Career Center, we have students as early as their first semester working what their cover letter looks like, what their resume looks like. There are employers who are offering paid internships to students as early as their first year. So we provide them those opportunities. We have a content management system called Handshake, where they can go and make appointments and then also see what opportunities are available. We have corporate partners who come in, who offer positions. Most recently, last week, we had a virtual career fair. Normally that would be in person, but knowing that students still wanted to have internships, we still provided them the opportunity to meet with employers virtually. So there's a number of different opportunities, but again, we provide them opportunities to practice interviewing. So we go over what those best practices are. We don't want them to go into the interview and not be prepared. So there's a number of variety of different things that we do. But again, we don't just do it in a career center. We also work really closely with the faculty members who have a better pulse of what's going on in the industry from a practice standpoint. And then we also work with Monica's area and other folks on campus who bring in guest speakers who also provide a scope of understanding of the industry that the student may want to go into.
That's fantastic. You really gave us a good picture of, from admissions, Tricia, to, career development, which really starts in the beginning of your career and is so very important. This has been really fantastic. I could sit and talk to you all afternoon, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I am so grateful that you were here to share, all of you, Tricia, Rob, Maria, Stanley, Monica. Thank you for being here and sharing the unique student-centered experience of St. Francis College. You could tell how passionate you all are, and I'm sure all of our attendees are as excited as I am. I'm ready to go back to college. It sounds so fabulous. So thank you so much. As I mentioned, we are going to give you that email address, but again, it's www.sfc.edu/meetus. I encourage you all to make sure you attend some of those events. They're wonderful events that'll really get you the information that you need. And all of our wonderful panelists here can answer additional questions that you have, but I certainly wish you the best of luck on your journey. Thank you to the attendees for joining us this afternoon. Thank you again to St. Francis College. And I hope you all stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.